Hello everyone, Calvatron here. Today we're going to be taking you around a 32-minute race around Silverstone in the new LMP3 cars for Le Mans Ultimate. I've been enjoying these LMP3 cars. I don't think they're that good compared to the LMP2 unrestricted car. However, this was quite a good race, and in it I did learn how the new Silverstone track, the layout was. It's very different to the F1 game, which is the only time I've driven this track before. So there's a lot more times where you have to brake, we have to trail brake and modulate the throttle. But we're getting into this and we're on lap 1, starting off in P9, and we're going to immediately take it into Copse Corner. We're on cold tyres at the moment, completely full tank of fuel. We've got 17.2 laps with a 17.1 lap race, so you might need to stretch that 17 into an 18 lap tank. So throughout the race I do lift and coast quite a bit, but considering I did that, a lot of drivers after the race said that they didn't, so that's quite strange. Immediately we got a yellow flag here, as is normal with Le Mans Ultimate, but we can't see a crash up ahead as we take 2 positions moving up into P6. We're going to brake nice and early here. As you can see in the bottom right, we're still warming up our tyres, still bringing the temperatures up. I want to make sure we're taking it nice and smooth because these LMP3s are prone to spinning. As we come around here, this is where the lap 1 would be ending if we were on the F1 layout on this main straight here, but in Le Mans Ultimate the main straight is the Hamilton straight. But as you can see further ahead, P4 and 5 are battling. They're having a tidy little fight. At the moment, no casualties, which is good. But for me, I'm just focusing on my own race, maximising those braking points. Another cool addition in this video, you can see I've got a little face cam in the top right. I'm not wearing my coolest of clothes in the Gymshark hoodie, but you'll be able to see my reactions, everything like that in my new setup. Right now I'm itching my nose because my nose was itchy, and this is also because of my new setup. So I got the GT Omega Prime cockpit with the Chase V2 seat. It's pretty good so far. Completely aluminium rig, stepping up from the FGT. I like it. It's a good rig. This is the end of lap 1 now. Are we going to make a move into Copse Corner? No, we're not. But we are doing so to live to fight for another day. We're going to make sure we finish this race in one piece. And I've got a good feeling we might be able to win this race. Chicken is 5.7 up the road. He's enjoying himself up there, but not for long. I'm coming. And saying that, he's now 5.3 up the road, so we've already gained 4 tenths around the Maggots and Beckett's complex of corners there. As we're spotting our braking zone here, I'm using that curb on the left where that starts, the black and white curb, and then I maximise that corner by exiting out onto the other black and white curb. Here I brake as that curb starts again, get the car turning nice and early, and again here nice and early, get full throttle here as we have a little correction there. But we're coming down onto the main straight now, coming under the Las Vegas boards. That'd be a cool track to have in Le Mans Ultimate, although there's no Le Mans racing there. As we have a big lift around this corner, and again here we do take this one flat out now that our tyres are warmed up. At the beginning that wasn't flat out. And a lot of these Silverstone corners, the braking markers that I'm picking is the beginning of the curbs on each side of the track. I found that was quite a good way to spot my braking markers, but prior to this race I probably had about 3 laps of actual driving in this LMP3 car around Silverstone because I haven't driven it in this game before. When I recorded this, DLC had just come out. As we have a little correction there, and then the track limits noticed there, and throughout this race you'll see I get more and more track limits on that corner. That's one that I struggled to not cut to gain a bit of time, but unfortunately there I didn't get a penalty. Coming around here at the end of lap 2, I put in a 1:58.1, so I'm actually quite a bit off the pace from the leaders as I completely missed the apex on Copse Corner. That's dropped me down another 3 tenths, so you can see there how critical it is to get that corner right. These are critical corners of the Grand Prix, as one may say. We're going to maximise our braking zone here again. get a good exit, hopefully gain some time, gain a 10th on the leader, as I itch the back of my head there. But all throughout this race, and all throughout every race I have on Le Mans Ultimate, I'm constantly thinking, how can I just have the best corner exit, corner entry? Obviously most people do, because I haven't found that there's been too much racecraft in this race. As I pick up my first track limits, give me half a point for that. I thought that'd be a quarter pointer, but that was a half pointer. I'm just gonna mute my phone. We've got 26 minutes left, and the leader's pulled a 7.5 second gap. So from the beginning, when that was about 5 seconds, quite the gap is forming. Just going to make sure we don't make that gap bigger than it needs to be. You can see at the bottom left, I think I've been thinking during this race, we've got 14.2 laps remaining of the race. Are we going to have to start lifting coasting just to make sure we have enough fuel, because we only have 14.4 laps, and as the timer trickles down and the car gets lighter and the tyres get into a more optimum phase of grip, we're going to be using a bit more fuel, because we aren't going to be having to lift and coast as much, or lifting or braking as much heading into the corners, because the car's going to be lighter and a bit more agile as I get Copse corner correct that time. So we may be using more fuel, so I'm thinking, am I going to have to start lifting, which I do begin to do a bit further on. That Chicken now is 8 seconds up in the lead, so he's gaining quite the lead, and Spat Zaza in P5 is 1.6. P7 behind me is also 1.6, so we've got an equidistant gap in between us two. As someone in the chat is not very happy. So supposedly in this race there's GT3s as well. I think there was. I don't know how much we suffered with traffic in this one. One of my favourite things in this game is the traffic in the races. I think it's very fun to deal with, as we have a little moment there on the exit of Club Corner, I believe that is. Spat Zaza is now 1.9 seconds, 2 seconds ahead, with Cristofello at 1.4, so he obviously has a pace on me, but with enough consistency and hopefully they fight, Spat Zaza and Johansson P4 and P5, hopefully that means we can be brought back into the fight, because sometimes when you're not on pure pace alone, you can still make those places up just by being patient and being consistent. Saying that, P4 and P5 have switched around now, so I'm now 1 second behind P5, which is good news for me, because if I'm going to be stuck in that slipstream a little bit as I pick up another track limits half warning, I didn't get any points for that. If I can get into the slipstream, I can gain a couple tenths down the straights as I follow P5 into the gravel there. I may be able to gain some time on the car behind. Are we going to hit Copse properly this time? Not really. Not really. And then we also frustratingly get a 0.75. I was even lost for words just looking at that. That was an orange purple, a warning sign for that, and I just went a tad wide. So it really shows you how careful you have to be around this track, not to pick up those track warnings. An overall review of the LMP3 cars. I enjoy it. I don't think the racing is excellent in the LMP3 cars. I've probably had about 3 or 4 races. I think my favourite car now in Le Mans Ultimate is actually the unrestricted LMP2. I think that's the car I've got the most pace in. It's kind of close to a hypercar, but I feel like it's just so much more planted, and I can throw it around a bit more. As I completely missed my braking zone there, and I nearly spin out, as you can see from that correction in the top right. It's a decent car. Obviously it doesn't have as much aerodynamics as the LMP2, and it doesn't have as much power as the LMP2. So I mean, you're still going what, 150 mile an hour on the top end, so it's not a slow car by any means, but obviously compared to the other cars, it's a video game, it feels a bit slow. To get another track limits there, and I waved my hand in frustration. I thought that was kind of, well, obviously frustrating. Let's have a little rearrange that. 1.5 points now out of 3, so I cannot afford to have too many track limits warnings, or else I'm going to have a drive-through penalty, I believe. I haven't actually got to that point in this game before, because I just back off and stop getting those track limits. But as we're going through Maggots and Beckett's here, we can see the leader throughout that little talk before has now pulled a 12.3 second lead, and Johansson's 1.8 and Spatzhauser's 3.0. So I am struggling on pace here because Pegoraro's 0.7 behind as well, so he's going to be catching up to me soon, and I'm going to have to think about starting to defend in some of these corners. I don't know if these drivers have more training, or not training but practice, or if they're just faster overall, but are faster than me. I'm not the fastest driver. I'm fairly good. I don't know. Cool. Oh yeah, you on there? So we've got 20 minutes left of this race, and I'm thinking I'd be happy with a P6 or a P5, but we'll see, because there's a yellow flag up ahead, and who's gone off? Who has gone off? It's Corsini who went off. So that puts me up into P5 without having to do any work, and that leaves Pegoraro 0.7 behind. So I think now what's going through my head from this race that I remember is that as soon as you inherit a position like that, you have to be careful with people behind you, especially Pegoraro, because he is faster than me, and a lot of the time when people gain a place like that, I find that they then start making lunges because it's like they want to get another place on top of that one, because they've just had that, hit of dopamine or whatever. Whatever it is, I've definitely had it before. As I completely miss Cop's corner there, and I bring Pegoraro up behind me. So what I was saying is that people start making lunges and thinking they can gain another position now because they inadvertently gained a position. As I get very close to him there, I make him known of my presence, and I just want to maximise the exit here, because you're going to have the slipstream coming down this little straight here before the last main sector of the race. I don't want him to make a lunge or anything like that, obviously, because I'm still a couple seconds behind P4, as he doesn't make the best corner there. He doesn't have a very smooth corner entry. However, he's going to gain a bit of time on exit there as he puts his nose up the inside, and that causes me to kind of jink to the left a little bit. So as we come out of this club corner, obviously correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone watches this, but he's 0.7 behind, and we're down the main straight now, or the F1 straight, whatever this is. Right now, the pressure's kind of getting to me. We've got 10 laps left, 0.63% of a stint left, and Shikin, he's just gone off in the lead. He's 13.4. Now he's catching him. Or are they? We don't know yet. But Pegoraro is 0.6 behind. I can definitely tell at this point he wants to get past. He's getting fairly close to me in the corner, the Constantina bit, whatever it is. As here, I could have had a bit of a smoother entry here. Pegoraro is keeping it very tight around this long right-hander. I think Fernando Alonso called the worst corner in F1. And are we going to have a good Cops this time? Let's find out. I hit my braking zone. I kind of apex. It obviously could have been a bit faster, but I'm actually hitting the corner that time. So, Pegoraro right behind me, I'm a chuff. So that's great. And then we've got Maggots and Beckett's. We're going to have a good Maggots and Beckett's complex here. Pegoraro is now 0.3 behind, although I think he's got a slightly worse exit on corner there, so I don't think he's going to be doing too much catching up to me on that straight, which I don't have to worry about. However, saying that, we do have Johansson in P4. I am catching. I'm now 0.8 behind him, so I want to make sure that I'm doing what I can to both keep Pegueraro behind and catch back up to Johansson. As we get another track limits there, is Pegueraro going to put it up the inside? No, he doesn't, but he does have a look at it. He does have a look, but I was kind of immune to that because I was thinking, I don't think I'm going to be, punted off. If he does put it out the inside, I can just react to it. So I just made sure I just hit my braking zone properly and we move from there. But he's 0.6 behind Johansson, 1.4, so he's gained a bit of time. And Chicken up in P1, 15 seconds ahead, so he's rapid in this LMP3. I miss my braking zone here, but Johansson, he also does. I follow him around, and what does he do? He takes out Pegueraro. So that's P4 taking out P6, and then I go up into P4. So, all that talk about fighting and everything like that, it doesn't matter now. It really doesn't matter now because he's been taken out. Pegueraro obviously didn't react properly or in enough time. I don't know if he was looking at my bumper going into that corner and he didn't react, but he's taken himself out and he's taken Pegueraro out, or P4 out. So I come up into P4 now. So we've got Christopher Lino behind me, 1.5, and Spatazzo 3.4 ahead. So we've got a lot of clean air here. We don't have to really think about car in front or behind at this time. So that's pretty good for me. That's worked out for me well, as we miss cops yet again, which doesn't work out very well for me. But I put in a 157.2. Chicken, I don't know what time he's putting in, but it's obviously a lot faster than that. So we go wide here in Beckett's. But can we get a good exit? Possibly. Little sniff. And we're coming up to the GT3s now, so there is actually going to be some traffic when I have to navigate. And this guy is P19, so he is in last place. I don't know if he's had a pit stop or anything like that, but this one's going to be quite an easy overtake, as he leaves quite a lot of room there for me on exit. I don't know, I guess he's just taking his corner as well, but he gets a bit close to me there. Hopefully that GT3 causes some issues for P5 and 6, and that would be great, so they can have a bit more distance between them. Chicken's now 17 seconds ahead, so he's very quick. At this point of the race, we're about halfway through, and I'm thinking I don't want to have any lockups. I just want to be very consistent, even if it's fairly slow. I just don't want to lock up my tyres. I don't want to take a lot of life out of them. I want to make sure I'm managing my fuel, I'm managing my corner, entry, exit, everything like that. There's I have a stretch in my seat there in the top right. You can see my room as well. I have my back to the door. I don't really like that actually. As I have a very wobbly entry into the corner there. I don't know if there was a bit of wind or something like that pushed me, who knows. But I got my back to the door. I think I want to change that because I don't know who could be behind me. Could be a murderer. Could be an axe murderer. You never know. But we're going to miss Cop's corner again. We're going to miss the apex, which is great. Leaving Cristofello at 1.9 behind me with Bordas 2.1. So they are gaining on me. Whether Cristofello has the pace and Bordas is just in that slipstream, doesn't matter because they are gaining that time, with Chicken 18.5 ahead. So if we do want to win this race, which is the ultimate aim, then we've got some work to do, because we've got to gain 20 seconds in 13 minutes. So that's going to be 1.5 seconds a lap. So I think now is the time that we lock in. I think we're going to lock in, because look at Chicken. We're gaining so much time to him. Holy crap, we must be so much faster. We've turned on overdrive. We've turned on overdrive to Lopata as well. To both of them. We're gaining a lot of time here, guys. It's going really well for us, because Chicken is now 5.2 ahead. We had such a good sector 1 in that lap that we gained well over 12 seconds to Chicken and Lopata. So we're just going to keep that up now. We're going to keep that up, and hopefully we can win the race from here, because that would be really nice. As there's a few more GT3s up ahead. Maybe Chicken had the on-the-go engine swap to the GT3. That wasn't very funny. Are we going to get track limits on this lap? Possibly. This whole race has been possiblies. But Chicken's 4.8 now, so he did lose about 12 seconds, or should I say we gained about 12 seconds with our pure pace, which was crazy and cool. That lap there for him was a 2:09.3, so he lost, you know, a solid 13 seconds on me. I don't know what happened. I think him and Lapata maybe crashed or something. But what's happening here? What's happening here? P3. Who's P3? Chicken. He's gone off. Chicken's gone off. P1 has gone off. So we inherit another place. We're up into P3 now, as we make a effort not to hit into that Porsche as well, as that won't be good, as I have another sniff there. But Chicken is 3.1 behind now, so he's gone off. He's definitely lost his head. I mean, he was really fast, so I don't know what happened. I think he might have just made a mistake behind that GT3. As we have another kind of half spin there, the rear tries to get away from me. But Chicken, yeah, I mean, he had that pace. He was really quick in the LMP3 car. But unfortunately he did make a mistake, and that's put him down from P1 into P6 over the course of one lap, so that's not great. But we're coming up to a back marker now in P15. So I thought I was kind of slow, but you know, this guy, he must have damage or something, but he does move out the way for us nicely, which is really good for our race. And then he tucks back in, so he definitely is abiding by those blue flags, which is what we like to see. And then we're going to power down this straight. Chicken is still 3.7 behind, so maybe he's got damage or something like that, because I would have expected him to you know, be gaining some time on me, considering how fast he is. But we're in a podium position now, so we've got Spatsaza and Lopata. I assume they're, you know, Italian or something like that. And ultimately our aim is to maintain this podium. I think the podium would be good around here. We started off in like P7, so that'd be a good bit of racing for me. There isn't too much actual racing in this race, but sometimes you don't have to overtake wheel to wheel to, you know, make good results. Sometimes you just have to rely on. Sorry, I yawned there. Sometimes you just have to rely on your fellow racers having mistakes, which they've done. So Chicken, he has gained a place on Cristo Felino, and he's up into P4, so he is going to be coming up to me fairly soon, as we have a yellow flag here. What's happened here? That is another blue flag, GT3 and LMP3. I think they may have taken each other out. I'm going to be careful here. We don't want him to take us out of frustration. That does sometimes happen. As Lopata and Spatsaza, P1 and P2, they're just moving up the road again, and Chicken is moving up. So at this point I'm thinking P4 might be a good finishing place, because in that 10 minutes he's probably going to gain the time on me. But we just want to make sure we don't lose any more than that. So we are coming up to some more GT3 traffic here. GT3 traffic is always fun, but again, when there isn't too much of a speed differential, I think that, you know, on the straights the LMP3 cars reach similar speeds. When there isn't too much speed differential, it's obviously a lot harder to navigate the traffic, because you're not, you know, insanely faster like in the hypercar or LMP2 or LMP2 restricted. So you kind of have to plan your moves a bit more. I know a lot of people in the hypercars, they just kind of slam out the inside and hope that the GT3 doesn't turn in, as we discussed in other videos, but I misjudged that and I was very lucky there. Looking back, that wasn't the best move from me, that was very unpredictable from me, but that is kind of what I was talking about. You know, I was still getting used to this car, and in doing so I haven't driven the GT3s around here, so I don't know the braking zone for cops. I just assumed it was the same as what it was for the LMP3 cars. So we do have a very close call there, and being kind of half stuck behind that car, and our mixture of our actual pure pace alone has meant that Chicken is now 2.8 behind us, so he is gaining time as well. P1 and P2, they're still, you know, maintaining that distance, but they are in a position where they're battling now. So we want to make sure that if they do battle, obviously they're probably not going to lose 5 seconds. They're probably going to lose a bit less than that, but we want to make sure that that we're maximising what we can do based off of that. So 5.1 and 4.4 is the current gap. That's 4.6 and 4.2. So I don't know if they're battling or stuck behind a GT3 car or anything like that, but we're just going to keep an eye on that. I'm going to keep an eye on Chicken as well, because we might have to do some defending. I don't think I'd defend too hard if he was going to overtake, because he's just that much faster, where there's not much point in putting up too much of a fight. Well, we've got 6 minutes left now, so we've got about 4 or 5 laps left. Having a look at that fuel in the bottom right. Speaking of lifting coasting, I haven't actually had to do it that much, or if I have, I haven't noticed myself doing it. We're going to do it here? Yeah, I do actually, okay. So I have been lifting and coasting. I've got enough fuel for 4.9, 5 laps basically, as we just cross over into a new lap. So that would bring us up to 18 laps. So 17.3, it's either going to be 17 or 18 laps. We're just going to make sure we have enough fuel. Our tyres are nice and warm at this point. As we come into the end of the race, I have a nice scratch on my face. Tyres are nice and warm. Everything's going well at this point, as P6 gets a drive-through penalty, probably for track limits. 6 seconds behind, so I don't know, Maggots and Beckett's, he had a little off or something like that. Unfortunately, we haven't had any track limits since that incident a while ago now. We're going to come into this main straight now. Chicken is 2.0 behind, so he's gaining a lot of time on me. I am definitely thinking about it at this point, what am I going to do? Ultimately, I think I just let him pass. I don't want to end up being crashed out or anything like that, especially in P3. Not going to be worth it. But what's happening here? I've had an off. P2's had an off. Spatzaza, he's had an off as well. Okay, I don't actually know what's happening there, because I've braked at my normal zone. I braked completely at my normal zone. He probably has as well, and there's been like a gust of wind or something, or I don't know. I honestly don't know what happened there. But Spatzaza is now into P4, and we've inherited P2, so that's worked out really well for us. We're up into P2 now, so if Chicken was to overtake us, we'd still be in a podium position. We're still coming away with a good result, so we can't complain with that. We managed to keep it on the track, whereas P4 didn't, which is unfortunate for him. We're now turning into lap 15, so we've got 2 or 3 more laps, depending on when P1 crosses the line. As we put in a 56.6, and Spatzaza puts in Chicken puts in a 55, so he's like a second a lap faster, and he's only 1.0 seconds behind me now, so we're going to have to really start thinking about him overtaking me, as I do have a little moment there on corner exit which allows him to gain another few tenths, which isn't great for me. So at this point I am really thinking I'm just going to have to let him pass or have a fight with him, because he's definitely going to overtake me. I mean, he's gained so much time on me since he had his off probably like 5 laps ago. As he has a bad exit there, he definitely has a track limits issue. He's proper in my mirrors now, that pink LMP3. So we're going to have to be very careful of how we proceed here, because he might make a lunge, he might make a dive bomb. I don't know his racecraft. Well, I do know he's very quick though, so that's kind of what I'm thinking at this point. P1 is 3.3 seconds ahead. We're going to make sure that we brake with enough time here because of last lap, so we brake slightly earlier. Chicken doesn't do that and he spins. Chicken doesn't do that and he spins, so he's found himself out again, so that's another reason now. That's another thing we don't have to worry about. So I think from there, I sneezed, I had a little sneeze there. What I was thinking was, we had that issue last lap. I don't know if wind is a thing in this game or whatever, but I don't know if there's like a headwind or something, or what's gone on, but we braked slightly earlier, so we just don't have that issue with the spin. And Spatzaza takes it, or Chicken, sorry, takes it on himself to try and make a move there. I don't know if it's because I broke early or because he just believed he had the pace on me, but he completely outbraked himself and looped himself around, so that didn't end up very well for him. Saza is putting some things in the chat, so I don't know if he's had a crash or something like that, because he put in a 2:04. We've got 2 minutes left of this race now, and Lapata's 3.5 ahead, so we are actually gaining time from probably 3 laps ago when he was 5 seconds up the road, so we're gaining a little bit of time here and there. I don't know if the pressure of him being P1 is getting to his head or what, but a win here would be lovely. 3.5 ahead now, verging on 3.6, 3.4. So I'm just checking that delta, but I also want to make sure that I'm not making mistakes, as I have a lovely last complex of corners here. Keep it nice and smooth, get on full throttle, make sure not to hit that sausage curb there and get track limits there, as I do get track limits there, but I do lift off, so I actually avoid getting any penalty. Thinking back, I probably should have taken that 0.25, whatever it would be, just so I'm close to Lapata, because we are looking for that win. He's 4 seconds up the road now, so that track limits made me lose a bit of time. We've got Cristofello at 4.2, so I'm thinking now I think the next lap is going to be the last lap. I'm having a look in the top right, and I'm seeing that we've got a minute left. So the time's going to click down to 0 when P1 is on the lead lappers. Here we go. What's happening here? Lapata. He's had enough. He spun off. I inherit P1. I'm now in first place of this race. I'm going to win this race now. There's going to be 1 lap left. We've got 44 seconds of this race, which means that when the timer clocks down to 0 and the leader is on the last lap, then yeah, 1 lap to go. Here we go. We've got 1.9 laps of fuel left, so we're just going to power it out now. Lapata, he's had enough. He had another accident. I don't know what's happened to him. He's lost his head big in P1, but I'm in P1 now. So we started P8, P9, and we're now into P1, just purely from inheriting places, which is great for me. You can see in the top right, absolutely buzzing. No, I'm trying not to make it a thing. You know, I don't want it to be any more stressful, I suppose, than it needs to be, even though I've got 3.1 behind me, so I do have a bit of a buffer there if I do make any mistakes. But whilst I do want to push the car to put in a good lap time, I also want to make sure that I don't spin out like Lapata or like Chicken, you know, in P3 and P4. So I'm just making sure that I'm nailing my braking zones, corners, apexes, all of that good stuff. As we're going to come around to bring the win home, as we're on the main straight now, maximising that corner exit by taking a bit of that kind of asphalt outside of the curb there. Hit our braking zone nice and early. We don't want to have that loop around. I'm just going to say it's the wind, because of that wind. And yeah, it's been a good result. It's been a good result today. 2.6 behind me, so Cristofello, he's pushing as well. He wants this win. He doesn't have that pressure of being in P1 now that I have, combined with my fairly average pace. But this is top split racing. I don't know if I mentioned that in this race, but I was in the top split, I believe, in this race. There wasn't many splits, whatever, doesn't matter, but this is top split and I'm going to win. I'm going to bring it home for a P1 victory. Lap 17 of 17, you can see how happy I am to cross the finish line as I win there. We brought it back home for the victory. As we lap nearly 2 seconds slower on that last lap, but we do win, and that must be frustrating for Chicken and for Cristofello and for everyone that span around Lapata. They all span and I didn't, so I'm very happy with that. You can see in the corner, it's just because I wasn't expecting to win, but I did win. So thanks very much for watching, guys. It's been really fun. Split 2, ignore me, but as well as fun. Thanks very much, and please subscribe. Bye bye.